The first I'd heard of Jamie Collins is when someone sent me a link and they just said, you got to check out this documentary. And it was about Jamie building the ramp by himself in the middle of nowhere. And I thought it was fascinating that he was that dedicated and that determined to execute his vision and go through those lengths, like dragging the concrete out there, carrying it, marching through the woods with the concrete, and then getting water from the river nearby and mixing it up and pouring that perfect quarter pipe and setting those bricks and building up the embankment. Like, I know I don't have what it takes to do that. So when I watched the documentary, it was definitely respectful to know that he went through those lengths to create a vision that he had in his mind. I think the aesthetics of the ramp is the first thing that stands out. One of the sides of the ramp is made of bricks. They're set in dirt. They're not set in concrete. So over time, the dirt settles and the earth changes. And the flat bottom is made of bigger pavers. And then the other side of the ramp is basically a 18-inch wide, very narrow quarter pipe that gets narrower and narrower up to the coping. It has a really amazing beauty to it. The fact that it's in a forest and it looks like the Ewok forest. There's just moss on all the trees and it's just completely solid green. It looks like it's out of a dream. It doesn't seem like there should be a ramp there. The hike was one of the coolest parts because the anticipation, knowing that something exists out there to skate. It's kind of like an Animal Chin, when they're looking for the chin ramp. It had that similar feeling where you're like on this quest to skate some hidden gem. And you don't know what it's going to be like, you don't know what it's going to look like. And even if you've seen photos of it, there's still this anticipation of getting there. And, the fact that you have to kind of hike to get to it and it's just completely isolated, I think it adds to the whole feeling of the experience. And I think that was his point. You just start walking through the thicket of the forest and you just see it in the middle of nowhere. I was definitely excited to try and skate it. It had been some time since it had been skated, so it had moss and mold, and some of the bricks had kind of were displaced. So one side you could barely kick turn. You had to learn your path from where you could go. It's challenging, but that's kind of what makes it fun. He had the vision and he had the desire to create something that he saw in his mind. I think that says a lot about who he was and the fact that he went through with it and actually did it and made it perfect. It was perfect. And even though over time the bricks had slipped a little bit, it's still, you could see it. It was a respectfully beautiful ramp. The imagery of it is amazing. I feel lucky to be in a photo on that ramp. The inspiration and that he left with his friends and family, and the fact that he created something like that it will live on, and those images will live on. I guess it's a blessing for the skateboard community that he finished it before he passed. It's, part of what he left behind for others to see and others to, appreciate, respect.